Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Anime One back here with a new video, and today I'm here with a new series of What If Naruto was the neglected Uchiha. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So without any delay, let's begin the video. Starts this one off with Kushina strolling with her babies in her stroller throughout the village. She had three babies, and specifically in her stroller. One was Naruto, other was Menma, and the third one was Mito. The three babies were, currently just sleeping as their normal schedule. Kushina was noticing something. The people of the village were glaring at the stroller, specifically at Naruto. She sighed, thinking, Minato, did you really have to tell them? She thought in her mind as she thought about yesterday. The Nine Tails attack had happened a month ago, and currently, well, she was strolling around with her babies. And right now, and yesterday, Minato had announced something to the village. Flashback. Minato was standing at the Hokage's tower, doing absolutely nothing, in front of the crowd, and then he picked up a baby. His black hair kid. In this one, Minato is half Uchiha, just to be clear. He picked up his black-haired baby the black hair that he inherited from his grandfather. As Minato looked up at the baby, this child is the bearer of the Nine Tails, the protector of the village. Please, and I beg you, please, treat him as the hero of the village. He bears the soul of the Nine Tails, while the chakra is split between my other two kids. And for right now, because of him, because of him, the soul of the Nine Tails, which is not retracting with his chakra, the Nine Tails is completely out of power, and we should be thanking him for that. Please treat him as a hero. He is my son after all. As Minato said that, the crowd started booing. Kill the demon fox, said one of the people. Yeah, he destroyed my family. He ruined my life. Many comments like that were coming out. Minato did not expect this. He expected them to, well, pretty much follow his orders. This was not expected. As that happened, after Naruto was 4 years old, the villagers had gotten their way. As what I mean by that is one of the villagers, specifically a civilian who had a contact with the daimyo, had stated to the daimyo that Naruto was a threat, and to treat him like a demon so that they could vent out their anger. The daimyo agreed to this because, well, his one of his relatives were also killed in the Nine Tails attack. So because of that, he was also a little vengeful. As that happened, Minato could not do anything, and he had to leave Naruto. Not exactly kicking him out of the house, but leave him in some sort of way. As Naruto was running through the street, he was thinking, shit, 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 shit. Naruto as a baby was thinking this as he was running through the streets. Not again, he thought as he was backed up against the wall. It was October the 10th. No, not again. He thought again in his mind as this was not good. Not again, Naruto thought again, as the crowd started gathering around him. As always, we'll make you pay, demon. Today, just a little bit extra, since it is the day that you spawned in the village, said one of the villagers as Naruto looked up at her. Screw all of them, thought Naruto as. Then his eyes signed for a moment as Minato, Kushina, and his true siblings were just strolling around the village. Specifically, they were wearing something really nice. It looked like they were going to a party. Hey mom, dad, that's Naruto, said Menma as he pointed towards the valley. Minato tried to pull his son, and Menma did not agree. Hey, what the hell are you doing? They're gonna beat him. I cannot let him go, Menma said as Mito agreed to it. He is our brother. You can just not stand here. Kushina and Minato just looked at them with a regretful look in their eyes. As Naruto's eyes widened when he saw all of them leaving. No, Not even them. Naruto thought as the beating started to happen, and when it ended, well, the order was of the diamond that Naruto must not be killed, so that the soul doesn't reunite with the chakra. As that happened, soon the ground started distorting, and Black Zetsu came out of it. This is good, thought Black Zetsu as he looked at Naruto. He has more of a genes of minutes of Madara than even that foolish fourth had. The fourth could only awaken his Sharingan, never his Mangekyo after all the suffering you went through. Such a disappointment, thought Black Zetsu, as Naruto started vanishing with the creature and the ground. Soon afterwards, Naruto woke up as he started to look around. Where, where am I? Naruto thought as he grabbed his head. I don't feel so good, said Naruto as he looked around to see he was in a cave. Then he saw and as he heard someone's voice. Hey. Once Naruto heard that deep, dark voice, he looked around to see a man with white hair, a single glowing red eye, and a sight beside him. Are you the Shinigami? Naruto asked, as this reminded Madara of Obito in some ways. No, I'm not the Shinigami. I am the ghost of the Uchiha. The Uchiha? Naruto said, as by tilting his head, he had no idea what they were. Madara simply looked at him a little puzzled. Huh, you do not know of your own heritage. What a shame. Even when you have unlocked those eyes, Madara said as he pointed towards Naruto's eyes, which were now a red, with two tamois in each of them. Naruto looked at his eyes as, the world was seeming a little weird because, well, he could pretty much see most shit at slow motion, and that is the reason why it's seemed weird. As Madara would look at Naruto. Naruto, are your name, I presume? Madara would say. Naruto would nod at him. Yes, that is my name, but Grandpa, who are you? As I said, I am the ghost of the Uchiha. Madara Uchiha. The man would say as Naruto would look at him. Oh, I see. Naruto would say, not knowing who the hell the man is. Madara would smile a little. You have no idea who I am, do you? Madara would say. Naruto would scratch the back of his head. Sorry, I really don't. Oh, Gramps, Naruto would say as Madara would chuckle. No problem. You remind me of. He thought as he thought of his wife. Well, no, there's nothing by. I'll gain nothing by reminiscing in the past. Naruto, what do you think of this world? Said Madara as Naruto simply looked down. I hate it. Said Naruto, he has been completely honest. This man had treated him in some way, so why wouldn't he? He appreciated the man. I hate every single bit of it. Are everyone so mean to me? I've never did anything. They beat me, speak ill of me, and my own family abandoned me. I hate every single bit of this world. I wish I could just disappear. Said Naruto as Madara looked at him. Oh, looks like you're forced to grow up. Yet at such a young age because of your circumstances. But it's to be expected, since you have the soul of the QB inside of you. Naruto simply looked at Madara with a side glance. I know. Well, Naruto would say that Madara would be a little surprised. You know, you say. Yes, I know of this fact. Especially since, well, all of the people in the village call me Demon Fox. I read about the Ninetales attacking the village of Konoha a few years ago, but I I never thought of it in that way. But after a few days ago, just a week prior, I found out that I was the stealer for the soul of the QB, said Naruto as Madara looked at him. Ah, I see. Madara said as he started walking towards his throne, where he was connected with the Geto statue. Naruto, you have seen the world in my eyes. The uchiha, curse of hatred, burns within you. Don't you want a world where everything is peaceful, nice, and quiet? Said Madara as he looked at Naruto. Of course I would, but there's nothing, no way to achieve that. I have no power to. As Naruto would say that Madara would smirk. You say you have no power to, but in reality, I will show you how much power you truly have. You have more of my genes than even my son ever had. Madara would sigh. Well, he was my first plan, but that went to waste. Madara would think in his mind, thinking about Minato. Minato did become a great shinobi, but not up to Madara's standards. As Madara would look at Naruto, this boy shows so much more potential than the yellow flash brat ever could. He inherited more of Myra's features. Inherited more of Myra's features, but not only her features, he also inherited more of her more of her talent and skills. I guess the geniusness and everything that I had within me has just skipped a generation. Madara would think in his mind, Naruto, very well then. From this day on, I will train you so that you are strong enough to achieve everything on your own. How about it? As Madara would say that, Naruto would look at him, but I have to stay at the village otherwise. Don't worry about that. As Madara would say that, Black Zetsu would pop out of the ground. We have arranged of it. You and your clone, the white Zetsu was converted into you. You'll be staying in the village for a long amount of time. After your training here is completed, you'll gain all the memories of the white Zetsu had suffered through, and then you can wish what you want to do. As Black Zetsu would say that, Naruto would smirk. Well, that's a little handy, I would say. As as Naruto would say that, Madara would smirk. I take it you're ready, Naruto. You'd say that as Naruto smirk. Of course I am. I'm as ready as I will always be. Naruto would say that with determination in his eyes, as his red, shining, glowing Sharingan would look at Madara. Madara would look at those red, glowing eyes. The same Choku Tomoe pattern that I had. I guess he's the spitting image of me when I was younger. Thought Madra. He would definitely have a little fun training his grandson. Also, in this one, I forgot to mention that Black Zetsu is the Madra's will reincarnated as he was supposed to be, not the reincarnated will of Kaguya. He's just the reincarnated will of Madra in a physical form, like he was supposed to be in the original. Just wanted to get that out before going any further into the series. We cut to a 4-year time skip where Naruto was currently 8 years old, was training with Madara as Madara looked at his grandson. Naruto had gotten a long way. He has unlocked his 3 Tomoe Sharingan already, and from what Madara could see, well, Naruto was already a low Jonin level ninja. In the age of 8, that was a huge feat. Naruto had to save himself. Even he wasn't that strong when he was Naruto's age. But that is to be expected. The boy had inherited most of his talents and everything that he had. But also, he had inherited Kushina's chakra reserves. Those Uzumaki chakra reserves, definitely something that Madara had taught Naruto how to control. But Naruto could still not get control over it as much as he wanted to. As Madara would think that. I guess it is time for my final plan to take place. As he would think that in his mind, Zetsu who would appear, Black Zetsu who would appear beside Madara's chair. I take it you're ready. Black Zetsu would say that as Madara would look at him. Yes, I am. As Madara would say that, a white Zetsu would come out of the ground and wrap its body around Madara, giving him his prime strength back in some sort of way. As Madara would look at this but new incredible body. Huh. I can finally move again without being connected to the ghetto statue. I guess this is quite good. But I guess this will be my final act before he thought as he went outside of the cave where Naruto was currently training. Placing a Genjutsu over himself, not a transformation jutsu, Madara would rush towards Naruto with the intent of killing. As Naruto sensed this intent, he would immediately jump back as he would look at the stranger. Who are you? Naruto would ask in his cold and regular Uchiha voice, as the man would just look at him. Who I am doesn't matter. I am a shinobi and I'm here to kill you. A mission of some sorts. As Naruto would look at him. You're here to kill me. Then I presume you even know about grandfather. As Naruto would say that, you pull out a sword that Madara had given him. It was a sword that was, well, a relic passed down throughout the Uchiha clan. Only a few had been able to bear that sword, as Naruto would simply code his sword in chakra, a red crimson chakra. That was Naruto's original chakra nature, fire, as Naruto rushed towards the man. In a simple sweep, clean swipe, he would slash the man across the chest as blood would flow out. Naruto would think he didn't resist, but why? Naruto would think in his mind if the man wanted, he could have dodged it. Because Naruto was not going all out for the speed. He wanted to see how strong the man was. Because, well, that is what his grandfather always taught him. If he knew that opponent was simply weaker than him, crush them. But he was not sure that the opponent was weaker or somewhat equal to him, then measure out their power, then crush them by using your own and full ultimate power. Those were the few lessons that Madara had taught him, and Naruto had kept that in mind while fighting the shinobi. As the Genjutsu would fade off, since Madara's, chakra is just not sufficient, the white Zetsu would come off Madara's face, as Naruto's eyes would widen. No, 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 no. As Naruto would say that, he would drop to his knees. This can't be. Grandfather, why? And as Naruto would say that, Madara would look at him. You have grown, my child. More than I ever could have expected. I couldn't see your father grow into a fine young man, but to see you grow has been my pride and joy. Naruto, I've been cheating death for a long time, as you know. The Shinigami would eventually come after me, so I thought if I was going out, might as well go out by giving you a gift. As Madara would say that, he would look at Naruto's eyes. You have such a wonderful pattern. Beautiful Sharingan, indeed. As Madara would say that, those would be his final words as his hand that was on Naruto's cheek would drop, and Naruto's eyes was widened. His Sharingan had changed into the Mangekyo Sharingan. His Mangekyo, where a five-pointer star would have formed, and there was a five-pointer star pretty much. As that would have happened, Naruto would start crying, and after some hours of crying, Black Zetsu would eventually pop out. Naruto, this is not what Madara-sama would have wanted. He would want you to get over, take his eyes, the eyes that he had originally abandoned. He had just preserved his eyes just in case. As Black Zetsu would say that he would show Naruto a jar of two eyes, Madara's original eyes. These eyes will be your eyes from now on. Let Madara see the world from your vision. Let his eyes guide you towards the light. As Black Zetsu would say that, Naruto would look at him. You're right, Zetsu, he would say as Zetsu would smirk. Of course I am. Now, if you don't mind, can we get the transplant done? After we get that, and a week of recovery with your Uzumaki genes and plenty of Senju cells that we have cultivated in you, you should be able to heal pretty quick. Said Black Zetsu as Naruto simply nodded. Yes, I guess it is what it is. And I also forgot to mention, Black Zetsu would say, the soul of the QB has reunited with its chakra. The soul has split it into two parts, yin and yang. Which part went to which, I don't know, but it's expected. The soul cannot survive without its chakra, and it was just something that was to be expected, and it was inevitable. As Black Zetsu would say that Naruto would smirk. I guess that's a good thing. He would say that as Madara had told Naruto about his plan. This time Madara's plan is not the infinite Tsukuyomi. He just told Obito that just to deceive him. His actual plan of what he wants is with Naruto. As that would have happened, soon the eye transplant would have taken place and Naruto would have gained the internal Mangekyo Sharingan with his pattern being pretty much the five-pointed star with a little bit of outsiding lines that Izuna's Sharingan had that pointed, just connected the irises with the scholar, right? So that's pretty much Naruto's pattern. Yeah. And then Naruto would look at that. I would like to go back to Konoha. From what information I got from you, we are gonna be starting the academy pretty soon, aren't we? As Naruto would say that Zetsu would nod. Yes, indeed we are. Are you sure you want to go so soon? Zetsu would ask. Naruto would simply nod. Of course. Things are about to get interesting. Naruto would think in his mind. After a few days, Naruto had swapped back places with the White Zetsu, and he had got all the memories of the White Zetsu as well, and to be honest, he was quite pleased. to be to be honest, I didn't think that White Zetsu would act so cold towards those Namikaze. Said Naruto as well, he got everything that was supposed to be needed. From the day that he was taken in by Madara and to the day where he swapped places. The first day when Naruto was beaten into a pulp, he was taken to the hospital by Kakashi, who was one of the few people that actually cared for him, since the third Hokage was the one who sacrificed his life in order to, seal the Nine Tails, right? As Kakashi would take Naruto to the hospital and eventually heal him and all that stuff. Naruto would return home. This time his eyes would be cold and, filled with hatred as he would look at his family. He would eventually go upstairs. Kushina would want to talk to him, but Minato would place his hand on his shoulder, just shaking his head, as he would say that he needs time. He'll eventually understand why we are doing this. Even now, my hands are tied. I cannot go against the daimyo Kushina. As he would say that, Kushina simply looked at, but he's still my child, Minato. As Kushina would say that, Minato would look up at the upstairs room that was supposed to be of Naruto. I know, Kushina, but just nothing we can do. Minato would say as he would clench his fist. He had never felt so powerless. Was the daimyo even necessary for the village? You would think that so many times, since he would want to have his son back, but he needed the daimyo's support in order to stay in the position of the fourth. Once that would have happened, Naruto would have pretty much, stayed cold. Zetsu, who would get the beatings of the villagers, would, eventually just heal by himself because, he has Ashirama cells in him. And then at the age of 5, Naruto simply stop getting beatings because Zetsu, he would just dissolve into the ground and disappear in Naruto's home. As, the villagers could not find Naruto, as, they would eventually give up. As that would have happened, Naruto, who's currently 8 years old, would have left for the academy. Minato and the others did register him into the academy with the request of everyone in the council that they wanted Naruto in the academy because the Shinobi Council that they wanted Naruto in the academy because they wanted to train the boy at least in some way. They all felt bad, but they could not go against the daimyo, so this was the least that they could do. As Naruto was going towards the academy, he would start to look around. Uh, these stairs are quite familiar, he would say as he'd be looking around to see the villagers glaring daggers at him. What do these fools know? If they even land a finger on me, I'll break their neck. That is what Naruto would think as he would enter the academy. Once he would be the last one that would have entered the academy, as Menma and Mito would look up at Naruto with a smile. Hey bro, come here, sit with us. As the Menma would say, then Naruto would look at him. Who would? As Naruto would think that, he would see Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha. And that girl. Naruto would eventually notice Sakura Haruno. Naruto would think in his mind that he would have, sort of learn about this from Waizetsu's memories as well. Well, I would rather sit with his siblings than a brooding Uchiha and his fangirl. Naruto would sigh, as he did not really want this, but whatever. He would sit beside his siblings who would, sort of be happy since Naruto had been treating them so coldly over this, past few years. As the class would eventually start, and the introduction would go on and what so not. Naruto would eventually just, before the academy would go on, Naruto would, not be at the top of his class, not at the bottom of his class. He would just, just pretend to be an average student, which was what, he was trying to do. He was just pretending to be an average student to, deceive the entirety of Konoha. If that would have happened, eventually the graduation test would come. Naruto, whose new Sharingan ability, mangaka Sharingan ability, one of his mangaka Sharingan ability, specifically his right eye, has a ability to completely control chakra. What I mean by that, he has so much control over chakra is that even the likes of Tsunade's chakra control is seems to be pretty goddamn inferior when compared to Naruto. And what I mean by that is Naruto has pretty much Otsutsuki level chakra control. Okay, that is what I mean. That is one of his mangaka abilities, and the other one is pretty goddamn busted too. You guys just have to wait. As that would have happened, Naruto would eventually, graduate because he can perform a transformation jutsu again, complete 100% control over his chakra. Again, 100% control of chakra is a feat that no shinobi has ever shown. Just have complete control 100%. Only the feats that has been shown are by the Otsutsuki's, who are pretty much God, and the Naruto, right? So Naruto would eventually graduate. Would just wait for his teams to be called out, and he would slam his head when his team will be called out. His team would be him, Mito, and Menma. Naruto would just slam his head, just thinking, "Why the fuck am I in the team with these guys?" He did not want this to happen. He would just think in his mind, Minato, that bastard. And specifically when he heard his sensei's name. Don't tell me that red-haired woman came back to shinobi duty just to be our sensei. Naruto would think that in his mind, since specifically talking about Kushina, she was supposed to be their sensei. As that would have happened, we would eventually cut to our one and only Kushina entering the class and taking her team to the rooftop where they would eventually introduce themselves. Kushina would introduce herself as Kushina Uzumaki. What she likes is her family, cooking and taking care of her family, and her dream is to pretty much reunite Naruto. She would not say Naruto, she would say someone in her family again and apologize to him for everything that they had done. And Menma and Mito would pretty much have the same introduction as Kushina, except they were in their goals, they would want to be Hokage. As Naruto's turn of introduction would have come, Naruto would have blatantly stated out, "My name is Naruto." He would not even say Uzumaki or anything. The things I like is training, and well, yeah, that's pretty much it. The things I dislike, oh, I can just, you will not have enough time to count them, so I'd rather not mention them. And well, my hobbies and my goals. Yes, that on the other hand, I know well, said Naruto, but he would not say his goals. Ah, he's trying to give out the mysterious aura, huh? Kushina would think that, as you know, Naruto would eventually look at her. She's slowly buying into it. You'd think that as Kushina would eventually announce the test that was to be performed tomorrow about the Genin exams passing test, to which test you have to pass in order to become the Genins. Which all, of course, the three of the Genins would eventually agree to take the test. The next day, the test would eventually arrive, and Naruto, Mito, and Menma would take the test. Naruto would again hide his power. He would eventually convince Menma and Mito to work with him if they want to land even a single hit on Kushina. That was her test, if to see who lands a hit on her. The first two persons to land a hit on her go back to the academy. The two persons who land the hit on her actually get to be in the team, and the one who doesn't land the hit on her actually goes back to the academy. Naruto would eventually convince them that if they do not work together, none of them will pass. So they eventually work together, and they end up passing because, even if they don't land a hit on Kushina, right? Naruto could pretty much kill her if he wanted by his Mangekyo and all that stuff. He simply doesn't, right? He wants to have a facade. As that would have gone on, we would go to the wave mission where Naruto and his team would be called up, since Kakashi Sakura Sasuke and a new character named Suki, who's also an Uchiha, Sasuke's sister to be precise, would have gone to this mission. Not to mention, I also forgot to mention the Uchiha massacre that happened during this timeline, just to make sure, right? As that would have happened, Minato would send Kushina's team as backup for the other team, as Kakashi would have been, trapped in the water prison at that time, as Kushina's team would arrive and free Kakashi out of it by their selves. As that would have happened, Naruto would eventually look at Zabuza and think, he is gonna be an interesting pawn if I can get him in my side. You would think that as he would sense one more chakra. This chakra. Don't tell me it's a Yuki clan user. Naruto would think, as they could sense it. He is, again, Naruto is just a pack of complete, um, uh, everything, right? So what Naruto also has a really heightened amount of sensory abilities. The third eye of Kagura, to be exact, which a lot pretty much the same ability that Karin had, but not just not on that larger of a scale, on a minuscule of a scale, right? As Naruto would think that Zabuza would eventually get hit by the needles on the neck, and Haku would eventually take him. Naruto would look at the distance and think, if I can somehow manipulate them to be on my side, I'll be on advantage. As Naruto would think that, they would eventually go to Tasuna's home. They would eventually start training as well. Um, Kushina would, try to train Naruto, but Naruto would just flat out deny it and just go to Kakashi for training instead. Since he does respect Kakashi a little, since Kakashi did save him many times when no one cared for him. So Naruto does respect Kakashi a bit. Kakashi would just look at Kushina and say, how about you train them and I train him, since the circumstances are like that. As Kakashi would say that, Kushina would eventually sigh and just be like, fine, Kakashi. As he would say that, Kakashi would come to Naruto. Okay, so Naruto, show me what you can do first. As Naruto would say that, I already know the basics of chakra control, tree climbing, water, walking, and I have true chakra natures, to be exact, lightning and the fire. As Kakashi would look at him, lightning. Okay, maybe I might be able to teach you this by the amount of time we have. As Kakashi would say that, he would form a Chidori in his hand. As Naruto would look at him. Do you have the Sharingan? Kakashi would ask. Naruto would look at him. What makes you think that? It's because of your childhood. It's to be expected if you have a Sharingan. The amount of trauma that you've gone through, said Kakashi as Naruto looked at him. Yes, I have a Sharingan. My father also does, right? Kakashi would not eventually, just because Minato does have a 3 Tomo Sharingan. He just didn't unlock the Mangekyo. So Kakashi would, the Naruto would activate his 3 Tomo Sharingan, which Kakashi would be surprised by seeing 3 Tomos. He expected the Sharingan, but not 3 Tomoe. As Kakashi would look at him and give him an eye smile. Okay, maybe I might be able to train you in the Sharingan as well. Says Kakashi would say that he would train Naruto in the Sharingan as well as teaching him the Chidori, as Naruto with the Sharingan would eventually be able to copy the Chidori. As Naruto would learn the Chidori, right? If that would have happened, Naruto would ask Kakashi if he knows the Rasengan. Kakashi would look at him. Oh, I do, but why? Well, this Chidori technique seems pretty similar to the Rasengan. Did you somehow try to combine lightning chakra with the Rasengan and the Rasengan simply collapsed? As Naruto would say that Kakashi's eyes would widen a little as he would look at Naruto. That is exactly what happened. As Kakashi would say that Naruto would smirk. Okay then, you have another job. Teach me the Rasengan. And if you guys are wondering how long did it take Naruto to learn the Chidori, specifically 3 days. Again, Zabuza did take a week to recover. As Kakashi would look at him, okay then, he'd prop up his hand and just, teach Naruto the Rasengan with the water balloons and whatnot. Naruto would eventually learn the Rasengan as, this would come in pretty much handy as Kakashi told Naruto that, the Rasengan is an incomplete technique and, he could complete it whenever he wanted. Naruto would try to do exactly that. He would try to combine lightning nature with uh, the Rasengan, as Kakashi would eventually be watching this. He was watching Naruto with curiosity, as Naruto's chakra control was just incredible. You had to say that Naruto's chakra control was on his level, and which is crazy to say because Kakashi had been working on his chakra control for nearly 20 years, 30 years, or some kind of crazy amount. So that was kind of crazy. As the day of the battle would come, Zabuza and Haku would eventually arrive at the bridge, and let's just say things are not good, right? Zabuza would fight Kushina and Kakashi at the same time, which would not be good for him because Zabuza is gonna get folded. But again, Naruto does see use in Zabuza and Haku as well, as Haku would eventually start fighting Menma, Mito, Suki, and Sasuke at the same time, as Naruto would have stayed out of the Ice Dome, as he wanted to interfere if something did happen. As that would have happened, eventually, a sound of 1,000 birds could be heard. As I know Haku could eventually hear that, Zabuza is in danger. As that would have happened, Naruto would smirk. As that would have happened, what would have happened is when Kakashi is going towards Zabuza with his lightning blade, and Haku is, right at Zabuza's side, at right, about to take the lightning blade to his chest. Inside the saddle of Haku and Zabuza, which is combined right now, a hand would pop out. And once that hand does pop out, that hand would pull Zabuza and Haku inside of that shadow. As Kakashi's eyes would widen as he would miss his Raikiri, and Zabuza and Haku would have vanished. As that would have happened, Naruto, the real Naruto, and the one that is on the bridge right now is a fake. It is just a blood clone that Naruto had created. A blood clone is a technique that is very strong, significantly stronger than a shadow clone, and it can last much longer as well. As that would have happened, and Naruto would eventually come in contact with Zabuza and Haku, as they would look at him. You saved us, but why aren't you on those Leaf Ninja side? Zabuza was asked, as Naruto would simply look at him. No, Zabuza, you're mistaken. I'm not on those Leaf Ninja side. I want you on my side. As Naruto said, as Zabuza would look at him. And why would I do that? I did not even know you, brat. What makes you think that you earned my loyalty? As Naruto would look at him and activate his Sharingan. I'm a man of many mysteries, Zabuza. And I can just end your life right here and right now if we do not cooperate. As Naruto would say, the Zabuza would laugh. A kid like you, what can you do? And a kid like me is the one who saved your ass. As Naruto would look at him as Zabuza would, just scoff. Fine. I'll support you. But what is this mercenary group of ours gonna be called? And what is the goal of this mercenary group? Naruto would smirk. The goal of our mercenary group is to get peace in this rotten world, and also to destroy the Akatsuki. As Naruto would say, the Zabuza would look at him. The Akatsuki, you say. You mean that mercenary group that has been recently going around? They're supposed to be all S ranked, said Zabuza as Naruto looked at him. You're quite well informed, aren't you? Zabuza would look at Naruto as he would say, well, I am a rogue ninja and I need to have my contacts if I want to survive out here, from the eyes of the mist village. As Naruto would, let's look at him and smile. Well, that is to be expected. And him, Naruto would say, looking at Haku, who would just be ready just in case Naruto would betray him. You have so much potential, yet you're wasting it. Let me fix that. Naruto would say he would look Haku right in the eyes, and a genjutsu would be shrouded over Haku. And in a few minutes, Haku would pop out of the genjutsu with his eyes wide and a terrified look in his eyes. Sa- Zabuza-sama, he would say as he would look at Zabuza with tears in his eyes. You're alive. He would say that as Zabuza would look at him. What did you do, kid? And the Sharingan. Don't tell me. Your kinetic vision even surpasses Kakashi's, doesn't it? He put me under a genjutsu while we were fighting at that time in our first battle. But your genjutsu, it's on a completely different level. Well, Naruto would say, only Uchiha can truly use the power of the Sharingan to its full extent. This was just a glimpse of it. If you're lucky enough, I'll just show you the full power of it. But then again, Naruto would say, you have to be loyal to me. Go to this location to be specific. Naruto would say, as he would point out a location. You mean the wave village? You want us to protect it? Zabuza would say as Naruto would nod. The wave village is going to be a good hideout for us. Specifically since there are going to be a lot of resources that we can feast upon here. The bridge, once it's built, will be a really good source of trade, aka money will be coming in. As Naruto would say that, Zabuza would look at him. Ah, you're a smart kid. So, I guess this is it. As Naruto would smirk. Of course it is. And just to be sure, the name of our mercenary group is Zero. As Zabuza look at him. I like it. Zero. You mean leaving no 0% chance of any failure? Naruto smirk. Of course, that's what it is. Welcome to the group, Zabuza. The Naruto would smirk as Zabuza would shake his hand. Honored to be in it. As Zabuza would shake Naruto's hand, a new group had been formed. Eventually, everything would have gone back to normal. Gato and his men would have shown up, but let's just be honest, Gato and his men really don't stand a chance. They really don't stand a chance. Naruto by that point would have simply returned back, to the original team as well, and since Kakashi would have told Kushina that Naruto unlocked the Sharingan, not to mention has Naruto also has his Chidori and Rasengan also learned. But forgot to mention that Mito and Men also have learned the Rasengan already, as the weakest one are Suki and Sasuke. As Naruto look at them, as all this would have went on, Naruto during this few um, weeks, he would notice that Suki and Sasuke, they have darkness within him that he could use. He could use that darkness for himself. He can make them part of Zero. If he showed them power that he could grant them, they would join him. Naruto would eventually bring out Sasuke and Suki out to uh, excluded place, as then he would activate a Sharingan. Kakashi would have had told him, so they would have known, and they would scoff at him, just say that trying to show off their new attained power dope. Sasuke would have said, as Naruto would just look at him, oh no, 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 Sasuke, don't you want to gain these powers too? As Naruto would have said that, his eyes would morph into the internal Mangekyo Sharingan. But Sasuke and Suki's eyes would widen seeing that, seeing Naruto have the same eyes as their killer brother, as they both would look at him. How do you have those eyes? I'll tell you eventually. But Sasuke, Suki, if you want to gain power like these, you'll have to abandon Konoha eventually and come with me. Are you ready with that? As Naruto would say that, they both would look at him. Abandon Konoha? What are you up to exactly, Naruto? Suki would ask him, as she would be a little bit interested in this boy, the demon boy that was, beaten up and just all that stuff by the villagers. Her mother did come tell her to, not go close to him while she was, a child. So, as Sasuke, Mikoto would not want that to her children to get hurt. It's not like she hated Naruto, it's just that she cared about her children's safety. As eventually that would have happened, Naruto would eventually tell them, this that he's the son of Minato, that they would know, and he would say that he's the grandson of Madara Uchiha, and then he's just forming a mercenary group that is being formed to eliminate the Akatsuki. And then he would say that the Itachi is also part of the Akatsuki. This statement alone does trigger both of them, and they eventually agree, since Naruto does have the same goals as pretty much as they have, so this is something good. Naruto would eventually plan on telling them the truth about the Uchiha massacre eventually, but he would just not tell them right now. They would go back to the village, and then Kakashi would have signed up the his team to the tuning exams. Kushina would have signed up her team to the tuning exams. Let's just say for the confrontation with Gaara, Naruto would not have met him. He would Gaara's team would have been confronted with Sakura, Suki, and Sasuke, and let's just say that Gaara sees the Uchiha twins as a challenge, and he would just say his weird shit of his mother wants blood of those two or some kind of stuff. The first round of the tuning exams would eventually begin. Naruto and the others, with the use of a Sharingan, would pass the exam by just copying the answers. And then soon the second round of the tuning exams would begin. In this round, Zetsu would have already told Naruto that the Orochimaru would be coming. Specifically since there is a lack of Uchihas in the village, and Orochimaru would have eventually got the intel that Naruto had unlocked the Sharingan. His target would also be Naruto, since Orochimaru does wants the Sharingan. So he would eventually go after Naruto, who is both Uzumaki and Uchiha, both packaged in one. So his main target would be Naruto, and of course, Suki and Sasuke are his target, but his main one would be Naruto. Eventually, he would come across Naruto's team. The two siblings would get paralyzed with Orochimaru's killing intent, but Naruto would be unfazed. He would just pretend that he's just paralyzed, but eventually, Orochimaru's snake would swallow up the twins and take them to another place. And Naruto would thank Orochimaru, just saying that, "Oh, you made this easier for me, Orochimaru. I was just thinking to just kill those two right then and there." Now, Orochimaru would just look at him. Is this back kind of crazy or some kind of shit? Is he really wants to kill his own siblings? Naruto would look at Orochimaru and say, You'll be a nice test for my new powers. I haven't really gotten a serious battle after Gigi died, so this will be a good test. As Naruto would say that he would activate his EMS. Orochimaru's eyes would bulge out of his fucking sockets as you would see Naruto with the EMS. He would lick his lips and be like, Naruto, I want your body. And he would just rush at Naruto. Naruto, with his heightened abilities with the EMS, would be able to dodge Orochimaru's strike. Since Orochimaru cannot, he will also go completely all out. Since he would risk alerting the Onbus and stuffs, and he doesn't want to get Naruto. Naruto, he would just raise up his hand by using his complete and utter chakra control. He would just utter out Rasengan, and a huge Rasengan the size the Boroshiki form. I'm talking about that level of fucking Rasengan. Naruto would spawn right on Orochimaru's head. Orochimaru, who would have been able to escape just by a strand of hair, would look at Naruto with wide eyes as he would think, "What the fuck was that?" Naruto would eventually look at Orochimaru. Oh, you're so fucked that you don't even realize, you dumb bitch. As Naruto would say that, Orochimaru would not notice that Naruto had appeared out of a shadow. What the? As Orochimaru would think that Naruto would utter Rasengan again, and a huge Rasengan would form on top of Orochimaru. This time, half of Orochimaru's body would have gone blown off as the snake would start to regenerate, and then soon he would look at Naruto. I guess going after you really isn't an option. And how did you get those eyes? As Naruto would look at him, well, of course, I don't want to tell you now, do I? As Naruto would say that, a red, really red glow would start to surround him. It's the power of the QB. No, it's something else. Orochimaru would think that as a skeleton ribcage would start surrounding Naruto. Oh, Orochimaru, I am just beginning to have fun with you. Things are really about to begin now. As Naruto would say that, Orochimaru would look at him. This boy is no good. I have to escape. Orochimaru would think that as, he would think that as Naruto would pretty much let him escape. Orochimaru would be so weakened that after, just taking two Rasengans and just blowing his full bloaty body up, and him having to regenerate his entire body, he would be pretty much exhausted. He would not even bother going after Sasuke and Suki. uh, as that would have happened, the rounds of the Chunin exams would be over and the preliminaries would begin. Let's just say things are just getting complicated as fuck. Naruto would battle Kiba. Let's just say that. And let's just say Kiba is sent to the hospital. It's not even a close match. Most people in the village already know that Naruto is pretty goddamn strong. Naruto would eventually use Chidori this time and use a variant of the Chidori known as Chidori Stream, as he would use that to paralyze Kiba and then just slam uh, a Rasengan right at his gut. Minato seeing this at the stand, when you'd be really shocked that Naruto knows not only the Chidori but also the fucking Rasengan. He would eventually look at Kakashi, would just give him a nice smile. Kakashi meaning that, don't worry, I got you, Sensei. Even if you could not train your son, I did. As Minato would just slam his a hand on his forehead, just thinking, oh my goodness, Kakashi's such a bastard. I wanted to train Naruto on that, but he did right now. As that would have happened, the battle would have been over and Kiba would have been sent to the hospital since, he's not recovering from that. Suki would have battled, let's just say, Mito and Suki would have won. I'm just giving Suki plot armor because Naruto had trained her and her Sharingan had evolved into the Tomoe, and same with Sasuke, right? He battles Yoroi and Sasuke wins, Suki wins, Sasuke wins, Naruto wins. And then Menma does let's just say Menma battles some kind of fodder and he manages to win. And then other battles pretty much go the same. As that would have happened, we would eventually cut to the chase for the final rounds of the tuning exams. The final rounds of the tuning exams, I will cover it in the next part of this video. So if you guys like this one, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Share this with as much as and many of your friends as you can, so that it can help our channel grow. And if you guys did like this video, um yeah, subscribe, I guess. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And until that, peace out, guys, and keep on smiling. Peace.